This episode is brought to you by some amazing people. The Diz Loki, Multifaceted Jules, Eric Booth, Patrick O'Leary, Taban R., Gary T., Eddie Tab, Diane Boss, Mecca Mickey, T-Bone, Jeanette Angel, Kelly Lewis, Richard and Fern Harrison, and Nathan from The Quantum Show. And a special thank you to all of our subscribers on YouTube, Spotify, and now over on Rumble. If you wish to support the podcast, you can hit that join button below to become an Eyes to That Sky member. Or if you want to join the Patreon or to provide other support, the links are below in the show description. But now, on with the show. Welcome to the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast, where we explore the unexplained and mysterious phenomena that have occurred throughout the state of Michigan and beyond.
From UFO sightings to ghostly encounters, we delve deep into the stories, the evidence, and the theories behind these strange events.
We are your hosts. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Wayne.
We are an educator duo that after an encounter with a triangular UFO in 2018 in Michigan, we decided to investigate UFOs and the paranormal. In this podcast, we will be speaking with eyewitnesses, experts, and researchers to uncover the truth about some of the most intriguing cases of paranormal activity in and around Michigan.
Our goal is not to convince anyone of the existence of these phenomena, but rather to provide a platform for discussion and exploration. So, buckle up and join us on this journey down the paranormal rabbit hole.
On an escalator.
Woohoo! All right. Hello, everybody. What is going on? Whoa, what is happening there? There we go.
Hey.
Yeah. All right. So welcome, everybody. Thank you. Well, actually, I should say, welcome. Boy, oh boy. It is Sunday, January 12th, 2025. And we're coming to you from within the shadow of the great Detroit Motor City, Michigan.
Jeez, what is that? Zooming in on us.
Yeah, I know. So deep within our underground bunker. So we're hiding from wildfires, drones, terrorists, you name it. And we want to thank you for joining us for the first episode.
We're 12 days into 2025.
Dude,
what the hell is this?
Dude, read my tagline. What the actual F? But anyways, so this is our first episode of 2025. And man, it's been a doozy already. I don't know what the hell is going on around here, but I'm sure it's only going to get worse. And we're going to talk with Sir Bryan M. Bowden, a Knight Templar, in just a few minutes. But first, let's do some quick housekeeping. Michelle, take it away.
Remember, if you have a story that you would like to share with us so that we can share it out and about on the podcast, please do so at mi.ufo. podcast@gmail.com. See, it's 12 days into 2025 and I can't remember
more
the
coffee. Just drink more coffee.
Okay, I'm going to drink more coffee now.
Also, if you wish to make a donation to the podcast, you can do so with PayPal, Super Chats, buy us a coffee, check out our merch store, or join the Patreon. All of those links can be found below in the show description. If you become a YouTube member, as you heard Michelle at the beginning of this show, or a Patreon member, you get a shout out during the intro, and you will be listed in the credits at the end of the show as a thank you for your support. Also, everybody, about 55% of you watching this are subscribed. Please do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. It's free, it's easy, it helps us greatly, and it helps us beat that YouTube algorithm and gets this content pushed out to people who would like this content or find it interesting. And Michelle, what do we got to do next?
And it's time to go into chat and say
hi
to
some people.
Got to start with Nathan from the Quantum Show. And give a shout out. Oh, look, Sir Bryan Bowden's in chat too.
He's doing double duty.
We've got Diane Boss with us tonight. T-Bone. We've got Hides in Long Grass. We've got Gary T with us tonight.
Mhm.
Rick Davis is here.
Absolutely. Of course, Rick's here.
Did I say T-Bone?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I did.
You did.
All right. We've got Aaron's Energy is with us tonight.
Yep.
We've got Welcome to the Show with us tonight.
Mom's here.
Yep. Dorothy Hawkins is here. Taman is here
Mhm.
with us tonight. Straw Dog is here. Let's see. Who else? Kelly Lewis is here.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to the show. Did you already say that?
Mark Eddy. He's tuning in. We'll just leave.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Where is that? Hold on. Where is his
I was dying laughing when I
his
saw
chat?
it.
Right here. This is the way you get things done, people. He says, "Hi everyone. Aside from Sir Bryan being a guest, I'm trying to help boost listenership by tuning in naked. Thanks for letting us know that, Mark. You will never be a guest on the show." Right? But unless you can guarantee that you have some kind of clothes on. No, I'm teasing. Let's see. What else did I just see? Oh, wait a minute. Wait. All right.
Look
Hold
at
on.
this.
So
Thank you, Dorothy.
Dorothy Hawkins hit us up with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Mama Dorothy. We really appreciate that. Every little bit helps. But the very first one that came in tonight, who was it? Michelle's looking around.
Welcome to the show.
Hold on. Yep.
What?
I know. I want to find. There it is. It's Welcome to the Show for 99 cents pound, 99 pounds sterling, right? Is that what
I think
the
that's what it
British,
equates
right?
to.
The British pound sterling. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
look at that.
Oh,
Diane
look at-
Boss has been a member for 16 months.
Diane Boss, 16 months. We've been doing this for 16 months. Something's wrong with us. Thank you, Diane. Really appreciate it. Oh, hey, check it out. Kelly Lewis, a member for 10 months. You guys are awesome. All right. Just stop being so awesome. But we love you guys. Thank you. We really appreciate that and keeping that those memberships up. Like I said, every little bit helps, keeps us going, helps us get guests on. Speaking of which, Michelle, since one of our guests that we had scheduled for our 2025 prediction, that show, he couldn't make it to the live and he sent in a pre-recorded prediction. Everybody knows that's Bryan. And we thought that right now would be a great time
to talk about some of our predictions that we made. Oh my gosh.
To talk about the absolute craziness, the conspiracies, the things that have been going ballistic the last couple weeks. I mean, we've had a couple terrorism things happen. Seems like they were more domestic. Who knows? One saying, well, anyways, we're going to get into this stuff. All right. So let's just bring on the master of the esoteric. He's a Knights Templar. What else? Travel Channel, Discovery Channel, Cryptid Hunter, UFO investigator, everything.
Author, writes stuff.
Oh yeah, he's got his book out there on Amazon. Don't forget about that. Yeah. So let's go ahead and just bring this dude on. It is our good buddy, Bryan Bowden. What's up, man?
Not much. It's good to be back, Wayne and Michelle.
Oh my God, dude.
Mark Eddy is actually a great guy. He Barbara DeLong is he co-hosts with Barbara DeLong.
Oh, okay.
He's writing a book that's going to be a very interesting and intense book, and he jokes around a lot. He's a big joker like myself. But Mark's really, really great, and you'll probably want to have him on as a guest, and I'll eventually have him on as a co-host. But
as long as he's dressed from, like the torso and keeps everything above, right?
Hey, you know what? Anything goes these days. I don't need. It's an OnlyFans page, but now I have an YouTube channel.
It'll bring in some viewers. It's like I keep on telling Michelle, she's already got a little bit of the stalker action going on. Maybe a low cut shirt at some point or something.
Wow!
Start selling feet pics.
Feet pics,
really? Feet pics.
Feet pics. She's got some nice feet.
Never understood that fetish. Whatsoever. And thank you very much for posting my YouTube link. I did start the show
Absolutely.
this past Wednesday, Third Eye
great.
Live. I'm only promoting that channel. I mean, I promote you guys, and I'm going to have you both on because there's a ton of stuff we can talk about. And I'm allowing anybody comes on, I'm allowing everybody to, like, if you want to actually restream to your fans, go for it. It's an extra whatever. But I appreciate that. I was, when I listened to, and I don't think I mentioned this before, something I found out a long, long time ago when you did the Exorcist thing, the power of Christ compels you, right?
Oh yeah.
So, I remember being young and my parents had their cousin over, my father's cousin, and I'm trying to sleep, and I hear the Exorcist theme going on the piano, like that the piano.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? Right? And I kind of peeked out because I was supposed to be in bed. And that's when I heard him. One of his friends in college was the sound engineer for the movie.
Oh, wow.
And he said the reason why the movie was so scary and really creeped people out is because that guy used infrasound in the soundtrack. And we know about infrasound because we talk about that with Bigfoot and some other creatures. Some dogs have it. Sometimes women have it. Only joking. I have 3 of them in my life. They'll kill me. Oh my God, I can hear it now. I'm just playing, I swear. So that I thought that was very interesting. But another thing I found out is in the what that movie was based on was an actual event.
Yes.
That took place.
Yep.
And do you know the name of the father that did The Exorcist?
Oh man, I can picture him. I cannot remember the name.
Father Bowden.
Was it Bowden? I was gonna
spelled the
say
same
Bowden.
way.
Yeah.
If you go a little bit more south, it's Bowden.
Bowden. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're Florida State, I think there's I'm 99% positive there's a relation there. Someone was telling how the connection is, but it's just kind of weird that
Dude,
every time I've ever had a tarot card.
I don't believe in coincidences anymore, man.
No, I don't. But it's really funny. So this was last year. I had several tarot card readings from people that I trust, and a 3-card spread. Who loves you, who protects you, where you are, and who's your enemy. And every time they did it, it was God as the one that protects me and surrounds me, and my enemy was the devil. Never forgot that, right? So what's the name of the devil? The devil, Lucifer, the light bearer. So last year, I was going through it was really, really crazy. I had 666 appear in my emails, on my phone.
Ooh.
I just felt this evil. I literally felt it, like we were being attacked. And I'm like, I think we're being attacked here. There's something like, because we're light workers. I had a friend of mine who I'd love to get on your show. Her name's Cisco, and she has her own show, Journey Through the Great Paranormal Podcast. I forgot what the heck the full name is. And she called me up and like, I'm told to tell you this, stay with God, be with God. There was an attack going. Totally coincidence, but we don't believe in coincidence, right?
Right.
I know I don't anymore.
So, well, Rick Davis says coincidences are God's way of remaining anonymous.
That's great.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's a great saying. So during this whole time period, my car 666 was on the tail, the right of the odometer. At the same time, I had a car problem. And one night I was really feeling it. And I was watching an old movie. You remember the movie Running Scared? Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal, Chicago.
Yeah.
It's a classic. It's really a great movie.
Yeah.
And there's this one scene where the camera pulls down. This is about 9-10 o'clock at night. Pulls down and you see the Jesus Save cross in Chicago. And then when they pull back on that to reveal the bigger street, we see the 3 main characters, Billy Crystal, Gregory Hines, and the guy that I forgot his name. He was the bad guy. They're walking in the street to do something next to the 666 lounge. So I'm like, oh, this is insane.
This is too much.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, so I let it go. And I said, you know what? I don't normally do treats. I'm very proud. I've been working out and I lost about 20 pounds. And if I get rid of my kids, it'll be like 120 pounds. I'm joking. It's 2 daughters. Please, Michelle, give me a little bit of sanity here. My youngest is the worst. She's super intuitive. And she's like, she's my ride or die, but I'm going to kill her someday. Only kidding. And so I drive out of my complex in Florida, and like right down the street, really not that far, is a racetrack gas station. It's 10 o'clock at night. There's a racetrack gas station. It's dark. I pull up. I'm feeling a little bit weird. I go and I'm going to go buy like a treat. So basically what I did was I bought a Fanta Zero and then I bought a Twinkie. But before going into the store, there's this a black man that's sitting out there wearing sunglasses and a blood red shirt, like all the red here. And I walk up and I did not like what I was seeing. I just felt something's up. He's like, excuse me, can I get to the Bright Line? That's a train. Goes like up Florida. I said, yeah, if you go down this road right here, and you can get to it eventually. You go, oh, can I walk it? And I said, no, man, you can't walk that. You got to take a bus or something like that. And I knew he was going to ask me. And I knew I wasn't. I will be brutally honest. That man was the devil. Not because of the color of his skin. Everything that was transpiring that day had 666 and evil and whatever on it. And I was talking to the devil. And he gave me this smile. And if you ever remember a movie called Wild at Heart, Mickey Rourke, where he deals with Lucifer. He's dealing with the devil.
Yep.
And you're sitting there eating, he doesn't like egg. I'm like, I'm telling you everything in my body, in my mind. And I skirted through, got into this and I'm thinking this. I go in, kind of like the store, it's lit up, it's nice. I go get my soft drink. I get a Twinkie, which will probably be in me for the rest of my life until I'm dead. I go up to the register and I pay for it. Guess what the bill was?
$6.66.
You are correct.
Yeah. That's because I've gotten gas within the last few weeks at the gas station. I even showed it to Michelle. 6.669 gallons. So the evil is transferred.
Well, yeah, and it's taking place. Like evil is the light and the good has opened up a lot more in the last, I don't want to. The thing with the incoming president, which I did support, I did vote for it. You can hate me, I don't care, but I know what's going on in this world. We need somebody to set the record straight and fix shit. There's something, and I can't put my finger on it. I don't know. This is not the same man. Something weird, and it's almost as if when I did do my reading, and I mentioned that he may not make it through.
Yeah.
And I pray to God I'm wrong, because we need that. He's got the cojones to really get stuff done.
Yeah, because he doesn't need the establishment like everybody else in that establishment and deep state needs the deep state to feed off of. Right. He doesn't, he's his own man,
There's something like, I believe he was, I don't want to go too spiritual, but I believe there was a lot of God's work in this last election and protecting this man. Way too many different things. And if you look at the symbolism of him getting it into the right ear, blood from the right ear, and losing the left shoe, and you go into the Bible, I posted some things. I'm being very careful because I don't want you to get strikes. Very reminiscent of how God taps people to do certain things. And let me tell you, like, if you look through the history of the Bible, and most of the leaders that did things like Noah and Moses and so on and so forth, not the nicest people on the planet, but they had a way to bring people together and lead them. They people listen to them. So this is why some people get tapped and some people don't. That really nice guy that's like, he's such a great guy. He never gets tapped because no one cares and they're not going to listen to him. But the guy that calls it like it is, and you're pissed off at tweets, he's going to get the airtime that you need to do X, Y, and Z. So yeah, I just thought it was weird, the whole Father Bowden and the evil.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of change. 666. You know, the number is adding up as a 9. Is an 18, and 8 and 1 is 9.
Yep.
So you'll never get it. You'll only get from 1 to 9 throughout the whole sequence of numbers, because it all boils down to a number. And 9 is the end. 9 is where things totally change, and then some people get kicked back to 1. And that's, I'm at that point right now in my life. If you do the math for name and birth and whatever, when you get to 8, you don't have to come back at 9. You've finished what you had to do. And to be brutally honest, I ain't coming back to this planet. No one. No way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll watch my kids, but I'm like, I'm not signing any contracts from any one of you people out there.
Yeah. The hairless monkeys here are really really going nuts recently, man. And since you brought up Trump, let's jump into some of this list of stuff that I have kind of written down. And my God, Michelle, jump in anytime with your prediction stuff that you made on our last show. Now we did not do a show last Sunday because we took a little extended break because we were going back to school on that Monday. And we just had a bunch of stuff to get ready and things. I have my midterms and stuff this week coming up, and running the kids through their midterms and everything. So this legit is 1 week out. Good. But man, did it frickin' blow up. But let's talk real quick.
Sure. Drones.
Trump says day 1 report released on the drones and what they were. What's Brian, what the hell's happened to the news coverage, man? Are they still happening? All of a sudden they disappeared.
Because I think I said it before, a lot of people were misidentifying these things, and everything's a drone, but when you have certain lights on them, and yes, they are different sizes because of what payload and what they do. And they were around sensitive areas like military bases, government offices, nuclear reactors. Because what happened in New Jersey, what happened in a couple of places, but New Jersey recently, when the drones started coming out, I'll just tell you, we had nuclear material being transferred to one point to another point in Jersey, and the truck showed up, but the container was damaged and things were missing. Now, I didn't know that at the time. I wasn't privy to that information. I did something because I know people in the GOVT that work there, I'm friends with, and I know they do threat assessment. I wish I had a security clearance because that's hundreds of thousands of dollars in my pocket, working for the government. But I said, you're looking for missing. I believe the drones, a lot of them were sniffers, and you get them all the time. You go to an airport or a sensitive area, they employ them every so many yards, feet, miles, and it sniffs what's going on in the area. They're missing nuclear material. They're looking for nuclear material. They found the nuclear material because I said the following to these people, and I posted it. I told them to look at 3 areas, mosque-based, in the New York metro area between Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan. I said, look in the basements. And some of them are abandoned mosques or closed. They're not closed. I told them to be careful about the Hoover Dam and be wary of that. Told them to check the waters over by the Statue of Liberty. And this was well advanced of the New Year celebration. And I told them several things to look for. I said, it's multiple groups, multiple different things. Some are coming from Minnesota down, some on the East Coast, some on the West Coast. And they didn't say anything to me, but not long after I sent that email, people were caught. One of which was a Yakuza leader, was caught trafficking or trying to traffic nuclear material. That's a Japanese Yakuza. He just pled guilty to it, but they were looking for material that was missing, and they were trying to sense the area and find out where it was going. That's why they were going into New York City, because that's a huge target. And they were in other areas like Texas and by the border. And so they were looking for that material. Some of the craft you were seeing were legit unidentified flying object.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, they were. I mean, I'm looking at the ones that are shooting things at other crafts, that's legit. They don't normally make their presence known. They're really good at stealth and hiding in plain sight. But with all these different objects and craft up in the air, they're looking at them like, what the hell's going on? They want to know something's up. So they're 99% was man-made, our stuff, for whatever reason. And that's why Trump said, I don't understand why they're not saying what it is, revealing.
That when I heard him say that, that's kind of what I figured was going on, was like, okay, so he's like, yeah, they know they know what they're doing and stuff. I don't know why they're not telling people, because there was multiple drone reports, and they're probably doing this in more than just that state. They're figuring that this material's all over the country at this point. So when people see drones, they're probably sniffing for those things. And you're right, they're being misidentified. And the reason I can say that is because there's a video I'm going to show you here once we get to the wildfire situation that looks like a high speed craft moving across the camera view angle of a news helicopter flying over some of the fires. And right. I think it's legit.
So if it's the one we talked about earlier, yeah,
nope, this is different. Oh, this is Nick Redfern posted it.
So something is very interesting. Of the 99% that are ours, I think there is a percentage that were being, at that point, just throw them up, let's see what happens, testing. And I think some of them were there for nefarious purposes, which may have led to a fog coming in certain areas.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Boy, I got my ass handed to me asking about the fog stuff on our Facebook group. Holy crap. I had a disinformation agent from the GOVT in our Facebook group that I had to kick out because he started ripping on people, specifically me and Michelle, just because I put up the question in the Facebook group asking, hey, does anybody know what's going on? What are they talking about with this fog? I just wanted to know. Yeah. People are putting out the information, their speculation, their, stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's really interesting. And of course, this guy goes, well, you're giving credence to it and you're supporting the ideas. I'm like, how am I supporting an idea when I'm just asking, asshole? You know what I mean? It's like, and then I looked them up. And he be careful who you want to F around with on the internet and about people's skills and certain things and people I might know, because I found out where he was from. He was retired, foreign military intelligence services. So if he's listening, be very careful, right? I didn't insult you or anything.
Yep. I'm with you on that. And I'll give you so when I was in New York, I had a friend that I usually investigated with a lot, and he came to me, and we were going through our storage unit in New York, trying to get things situated, and I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Well, I got stopped by the Men in Black, basically 2 guys with guns, and they pulled me over, and they said you better stop doing what you're doing. Don't talk about that. Stick with UFOs. No one believes that crap anyhow." But we were, he reveals a lot of stuff. And he says, and you may want to tell your buddy, keep his fat mouth shut too, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, okay, not that I don't trust him, but I'm like, unless I have it, firsthand, I'm like, well, F it. So I know people too. And I contacted a couple of people, a lot of people, and I presented certain things, and they said, well, if we want to make you shut up, they use one person used an example. We had somebody at work that was talking and shouldn't have been talking, and we wanted to shut the hell up. So we sent, they left him the powers that be, use it that way. He came into work to a manila envelope with pictures of his kids going to school, and says, "Stop talking." That'll shut
Okay.
you up.
All right. Hold on a minute. Bryan, considering what we were talking about right before we went live, look at this. Now, do you believe in coincidence?
Well, it's really funny. So when you contacted me yesterday, right?
By the way, just real quick. So everybody that's listening in the future on a podcast, when we release the audio, me and Michelle and Bryan were having a quick discussion talking about Knights Templar, getting people on the show, going on his show, yada yada.
Yeah.
And he brings up Scott Walter. Like, awesome. I know Scott. I got his phone number in my wallet that he wrote down on a piece of paper because I met him at the Cosmic Summit in 2024 down in Asheville. He did an awesome presentation that just blew me away. I got his book. I got his autograph. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And then Aaron's Energy 313 in chat just said Scott Walter has come out disclosing ETs even.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Dude, nobody brings up Scott Walter's name in our
not
chat.
Anymore.
And
Not anymore.
Here we are.
Well, it was really funny. So kind of the coincidence realm again, that the day that I got contacted by Wayne about, hey, you want to come back on? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'd love to. I love both of you. I'm just waiting to move in because when my kids kill me. I don't like Michigan, but whatever.
Well, we got cats here that'll kill you, so I don't think you'd be much better off here.
So I've been doing a test lately talking about connecting to people using telepathic means. So I was actually trying to contact Michelle with not necessarily. I was going to go with her first because you're really good at what you do, Michelle. You're really, there's an intuitiveness. You're gifted. And the more you use it, the more it's going to be like, don't go to the corner, come back. Okay, now you can go. So I was sending things to you, and that's what I was doing. I was trying to, I was using your famous name that you had just to see if you get a reaction. Whatever.
Well, if I see her taking pictures of her feet and emailing them to you, I know there's something funny going on here.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn it.
But what was very interesting is you contacted me, I swear to God, within a minute to 2 minutes of me sending it out, and then I sent it to you. And you said, hey, do you want to come on? Now, that's not coincidence. There was a connection there. You probably sent it out to me. I was trying to do that. You were one of the first people I tried to do this with. I'm still trying to do it. I'm not going to say what I'm doing, but if you get this weird thing, like for some reason I'm thinking of Bryan, or some reason I'm thinking of X, what I want to know. Like when I do a remote view and I visit people, I do this all the time. I will go and because I've helped people. I've gone in while they're sleeping to try to help my friend with whose wife was suffering from night terrors. And I saw where it's coming from. And I see him in the bed sleeping, and I just go, blue monkey. And I just start saying blue monkey. And it's like, oh, Bryan, blue monkey, whatever it is, to see if, I had a dream about a blue monkey. I'm like, okay, it worked. Because when I went into the person that's a psychic for our group was like a sister to me. She's my Yoda, Cindy Bailey Dove, which I'm going to try to connect you guys to. Super gifted from Arkansas. When I went in I said, I'll go in and see what's wrong with you. I'll try to heal you, whatever. And I went to her, but I was stepping into her daughter's house. And when I stepped into the structure, I didn't know I was there. I stepped into the room where her 4-year-old or 3-year-old granddaughter was, and she was up and she was looking at me like, who the hell are you? And I'm like, uh-oh, hi, I'm Bryan. I'm here to take care of your Nana, and help her out. Can you tell her Bryan was here, please? And she's just like this stare that would kill you. Like, who are you? Okay, like you didn't say okay, but I went and I did it. The next day, I called her. I said, "How do you feel?" Because I feel a bit better. You were here, weren't you? I said, "Why do you say that?" She goes, "Because my granddaughter said Bryan was here to help you, Nana." Yeah, I was there. She too is psychic. So yeah. So Scott Walter, who was great. I want to get to, I don't know who it was. I think it was one of the chat was talking about Stephen Greer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that was something I was going to bring up later about disclosure within a week. He is saying.
Yeah, he was talking about Greer's assertion about the Cybertruck explosion guy. He says the guy was one of his. I don't believe it. That whole event was done to send a message to the powers that be, other people, and to warn the right people there's something bad taking place right now and you need to start waking up. That's what it was, and it has nothing to do with in my opinion, Stephen Greer whatsoever. He can assert whatever he wants. He is doing his best to try to get that foot in the door again. And I'm not a fan of Stephen Greer. I'm not a fan of the cult of Greer, and I call it a cult because he was making money off of people when he shouldn't have. That's just my 2 cents. I'm not disparaging. If you want to believe, I'm not telling you who or what to believe, but I would question him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, apparently now, well, it's been this way since, during, I hate to say it, but during the Biden administration and then the big push of censorship and stuff that was happening around COVID, and you couldn't even say COVID, and then you got banned for saying or questioning. Apparently asking questions is like, a bad idea. Yeah. So if you question Greer, you're probably going to be called, a nut job by his cult or whatever. But I agree with you on that. And, I've got that on my list of something to talk about. And I think what happens in a situation like that is that you get these people who will latch on to something like, and I believe he was a staff sergeant and he was in 10th Special Forces Group 110, or I believe that's what it was. Anyways, I think he was on anti-psych meds and they messed him up, and because he had really bad PTSD. And I think there was a very missed opportunity to be able to talk about people dealing with PTSD that are coming back from, they're retiring out of the military. You can retire after 20 years. What's going on?
Nothing.
I thought you had it like you were going to break in and talk about something else that's popping off.
No. Not at all. I was just going to cough, so I went to look for my mute button so I don't cough in everybody's ear.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But again, for me, I think it was a missed opportunity to really elevate, and I think maybe he was trying to do that and elevate the problem with PTSD. I was watching one guy who has, what do you say? He has really bad back problems from his military assignments and deployments and stuff, and the VA put him on antipsychotics apparently to help with that, and he's like, that's not what I need. No. Right. But there's not really much. You screw up your back enough, there's not really too much they can do except start fusing things and you start messing around with that. But why they would prescribe them that, I don't know if that's a medical part of a protocol or what for back issues, but to prescribe antipsychotics for something like that is.
Some people, I have a friend that he had back problems and he read a book about it's all in your head type of thing. I had a problem. I tried to lift something when I was 16 that I should never have tried. A little small bucket of like an excavator come on, we could move it. I'm like, we can't move this. And I really screwed up my back, L3 and 4 or something like that. And yes, it does happen when you get stressed out because your muscles contract and you get tighter, right? You get so stressed out. My dad used to go, wow, you're tighter than a drum. Meaning like you can feel it. So maybe that medicine may allow you to decompress a bit, but I would never, I mean, I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV.
Right.
But there's a really great TENS unit on Amazon for $30. It's the best one I've ever had. And I use it all the time. It's big. And that really helps with back issues. I mean, I would go with something more along the lines of physical therapy. And, if you want them to decompress, diazepam or like some kind of Valium,
Mhm.
because anything stronger, you're the potential of getting hooked on something is huge.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, again, not a doctor. I play one on TV, but yeah, I would, maybe he knew something that he shouldn't have known, and they want him to take that because the SSRIs are all involved in all these mass events
Yeah.
that way.
Yep.
And they want him to have a mass event so that they can get rid of the problem. I don't know. I mean, I can't answer stuff like that. Matter of fact, Grush had an issue mentally as well. He's the guy that was testifying at the UFO hearings.
Right.
Dog and Pony show. Actually, I saw a video because I'm watching James Fox's the program.
Oh yeah, he just released that.
Great. I love James. James is a great guy. I'm trying to get him back on. He's so busy. I'm like, I'm gonna message him. I'm like, James, hey, can you, just jump on? Give me an hour. Give me like 15 minutes with you. And there's video of them, doing the testimony of him, like, moving his head, blah, blah, blah. And I found it very odd. If you see some of the video, check in the background over the left shoulder, his left shoulder. If you're looking at him on the right shoulder, is Jeremy Corbell, Mr. I Know Everything Too.
Yes. Yeah.
And he's just doing this in rhythm to what this guy, Grush is saying. And I just found it very odd because we've seen this before. There's been a couple of videos where some people are talking, the government people are talking, and there's weird facial features and synchronous in the background of a third party. Like, who is that? And why did they know? Like, almost mouthing what they're. It didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And I've been saying it since day one. This whole disclosure movement is a dog and pony show, smoke and mirrors. That's me. And I believe I've been proven right by many people, but we'll leave it like that.
Well, I get the same feeling from these people, just like the cult leaders that say the world's going to end on March 21st, 2025. And March 22nd comes and nothing happens and nothing does happen. And it just, that's when, these, I hate to say it. It's like a cult leader.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, oh, well, yeah. And then they just disappear. Well, how much money are they running off with at that point?
Well, yeah. I mean, you guys probably remember Guyana with Reverend Jim Jones, right?
Jim Jones. Yeah.
And it makes you understand why. And it's sad that so many people drink that Kool-Aid. That's why they said, oh, they're drinking the Kool-Aid. And if you're of a certain age and you don't know what that Kool-Aid reference is, it's to Reverend Jim Jones and his cult that moved to Guyana, was running drugs and guns and got caught. They killed the senator. They knew their time was up. And the good old Reverend says, come on, we're all going to go to the promised land. Gave them all Kool-Aid to drink with
Kool-Aid,
what the hell was the poison? Cyanide?
And
they all died. He killed every one of them. and that's like a pure cult leader.
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate's the great thing. If you go to if you join an organization, you have to buy those Nikes. Just run. Just go out the door. Just run. It's like,
what's the number one sign you're in a cult? You have to buy Nikes.
Nikes, and they deal. I was up at UMass when I went to school in UMass, and we're on the floor, and one of the guys on the floor is like, "Hey man, we met this great guy. His name Rama, and we were talking to him, and he wants us, to come out to this compound, and we're gonna hang out, and he's gonna talk, and we're gonna meditate." And I said, "That's a cult, dude. It's a cult. It's a cult. It's a cult." No, this guy's great, whatever. So this was like over the weekend, they met him. I'm like, dude, it's a cult. It's a cult. So it was like 48 hours. I think it was on a Thursday, the day before. It was a Thursday night. They ran this 48 hours on a computer cult, and the leader of the cult is Rama. And everybody, in college, when you're in the dorm, like the doors are always open. Everybody's door is open. It's propped open. And I'm watching, and I went, "Told you it's a cult." And Rama called him, "Hey, that's not us. We didn't get our side of the story." I'm like, "It's a cult."
Yeah. Well, and I see some people in chat here talking about there are some Christian cults too. Well, yeah, you got like
cults everywhere.
They're okay, so
they're very lucrative.
Where do you think the word culture comes from?
Where does the cult culture come from?
The word culture come from?
Yeah.
Cult. Okay,
yes,
so
it'll be on the final. It'll be on
right. So here, check this out. So according to the Cult Education Institute, there are specific warning signs to look out for. Okay, you guys ready for this? You're going to find out you're in a cult, okay? And for people out there of a certain political persuasion, all right, this is going to sound kind of familiar. Let's see if you defend your cult or not. Absolute authoritarianism without accountability. Zero tolerance for criticism or questions. Number 2. Okay? Number 2. Don't ask me that. I'm offended now. Oh, shut up and grow a pair. Number 3. Lack of meaningful financial disclosure regarding budget. Number 4. Reasonable fears about the outside world that often involve evil conspiracies and persecutions. I'm not going to say I'm part of that, but I'm not paranoid if they are after me. Let's see. Number 5, a belief that former followers are always wrong for leaving and there is never a legitimate reason for anyone else to leave. Number 6, abuse of members. Number 7, records, books, articles, or programs documenting the abuses of the leader or group. Number 8, followers feeling they are never able to be good enough. Number 9, a belief that
psychology. Oh, sorry.
that was an interesting sneeze. A belief that the leader is right at all times. And number 10, a belief that the leader is the exclusive meaning, or a belief that the leader is the exclusive means of knowing truth or giving validation.
That's why I'm starting a cult of Bryan Cobb. And for only $19.99, you too can join the Cobb cult.
I mean, I'm sorry, but we all belong to a certain culture. We right? Everybody's got their own culture or whatever. America is supposed to be the big melting pot, but that went the way of the dodo in the 60s and 70s, right? Now everybody is a hyphenated something or other. Okay.
Yeah,
so
you listen to Taylor Swift, you're in a cult.
Yep. Judas Priest,
Judas Priest is good.
Iron
The best
Maiden.
part about Judas Priest was all the guys, your friends,
right,
being dressed up like Rob Halford, not realizing you're wearing a certain lifestyle's clothing.
Yeah, like
people were bummed out when I'm like, oh my god,
spandex and bullets.
Yeah,
well,
and
studded
that
leather,
hat, and whatever.
Yeah, studded leather, and the horse. What are those called? The whips, the
whips. Yeah.
All right.
Whips and chains excite me.
But see, that's what I mean. It's like, you can apply that to everything. And so what they do now is they talk about the UFO community. Right? Oh, let's switch the words around. We'll make it nice. The people that like to golf community.
Right. I'm gonna try to golf this coming week.
Yeah, right. So,
Yeah.
you know, look, you like flying remote control airplanes and drones? You're part of a community.
Clubs and clubs become, when you get so obsessed, nothing else matters but that. Like, there is a cult mentality to video games. I love video games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had the original, like the Pong, and then if you wanted to play hockey Pong, they put two of them up, it was black and white. So I love the way it moved into, like, wow, it's the graphics are great. Yeah.
Nathan says, oddly, Blue Oyster Cult fans are not in a cult.
Yep. But Feel the Reaper.
I was just listening to that song, dude.
It's
Don't
great
Fear
song.
the Reaper. It was just on before you came on.
It's one of my I'm not a big Blue Oyster Cult fan. It's not all of the music, but when in high school, I went to the High School of Art and Design in New York City, and we either had a
fancy.
Yeah, well, it was great school. Oh my god, I wish I was back there right now. It's such good fun. But you either had to take a test, or for the final of this movie, this was a class about movies and stuff. You could make your own movie. So I decided, the hell with this. I'm gonna make my own Super 8 movie. So I bought a Super 8 camera, and I had a 6-foot blow-up Godzilla doll, and it was Godzilla the Search. And all I did was emulate Raymond Burr, who was in the original Godzilla, and they always zoomed into him. They're looking for something, right? And Godzilla was searching for beer and cigarettes. That was it. And I had two of my friends do it. And then there's a park across the street from my house, and I'm like, we need something else. And I saw these kids running up the stairs, and two of them were Asian. And I said, you guys got to run up the stairs scared, and you come up, and both you and you go say Godzilla's coming and point. And I put it to Blue Oyster Cult's Godzilla. And at one point, there's like, in Japanese, Godzilla has destroyed the city. And I got it synced up to the kids coming up there. It was great. I got an A in the class. Everybody loved it. So,
yeah.
See, we're jiving right here.
Yeah.
This is
good. And I was also just listening to Nights in White Satin by Moody Blues.
I saw the Moody Blues. The Fix opened up for them. I was not 40 at the time, but there were a lot of 40-year-old cougars in the audience that looked really good. Had like third row seats. I got to be honest, I was like 20, whatever it was, 25. And
were they yummy?
Yeah, they were yummy. They were yummy. No, they were really yummy. And wow, it was a good show, but I preferred the Fix to Blue Oyster Cult, and every guy was wearing a turtleneck, and I move away. But like, now that is such the wrong thing to wear. But as far as the cult of Greer, the reason why I say it is a lot of the people I've come across that like Dr. Greer and believe everything he's been saying, and has bought their $400 app to meditate with.
Is it really $400?
And when it first was released, the CE5 experience was $400. Now I think it's free. And then he said, with all the movies, like, if just everybody gave me $1. Well, he had like 100 to 200 million people watching him. Please give me $1. Actually, give me a quarter, and I'll be fine. I'll make a movie too. But anytime I said anything negative about Greer, these people would come up and they get very angry. And I mean, I had people leave when we used to do live meetings in upstate New York and in New York City. So we would go upstate at the last week of the month, and down in New York, down in New York City the other time of month. And these people like, well, Dr. Greer said, but. And if you refute any of that, and you're like, they got mad. They got like, it was a cult.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, that's why I said the cult of Greer. Now, he has kind of gone to the wayside, and he's trying a different angle, and he cries a lot now. That emotional, like, Jimmy Swagger, I have sinned. I guess you weren't crying when you were in bed with her. Just to try to get like some humanity back with people, but this is what you have to watch out for in the world of UFO sightings and paranormal. There's a lot of people that are trying to sell you something. I'm not selling you anything. I've stated this every time I say something. I'm using my personal experience and intuition, and I try to show you video from my own that I show, I put out there, or someone who I've vetted. I want you to question me, and I want you to get off your ass and do some research. Don't just be spoon-fed everything you heard. How many times, both Michelle and Wayne, how many times have you said to students, like, well, did you research it? I mean, they have a computer in their hands,
Mm-hmm.
and tell them, besides using Google, did you use a different browser like brave.com? Why would I use that? Because it's not co-opted by Google. You're going to get some search results that we used to get when the internet first started, like really good porn sites. But other than that, no, it's the truth. If you just Google it, well, they manipulate their results.
Yeah.
And you may have to go to page 3,898 to start getting stuff that's relevant, that they're not trying to sell you. So that's what I always try to do. If I give you links, I will give you links. But like with you guys, like I've gotten called out by a buddy of mine, and Mark D'Antonio. I love the guy. He's great. He's the MUFON guy. He's brilliant. He's an astronomer. I love him. But he's like, oh, you're coming up with this, like, or great oracle stuff. No, I am so under the eyes and guys of whoever the Facebook police are or social media. They know what I'm saying. My phone is tapped. When I use my phone, I know it's tapped. I've seen it in my car when all zeros come up. I know I don't care. I've got nothing to hide. If I come out and blurt it all out, boom, 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 you see me. I'll be in Facebook jail, and it kept increasing. It was like 10 days, 15 days, 30 days. I had 72 days in Facebook jail for things I posted in 2009.
Yep.
So I have to breadcrumb, but everything I breadcrumb, if you do a little search, it's going to pop up. And I've told this to Mark numerous times and other people. If I can post a link, I'm going to post a link. But, if they don't want it known, they're going to shut me down. And then if I lose that, not that I really care. I post a lot of really good fun stuff and memes now.
Right.
But then they'll go
Which
after
you'll
you.
pay for in 10 years, by the way, when they go back and revise history yet again. That's why they want everybody on all this electronic social media stuff, so they can wipe you out, from 10 years from now for things you said today. That's what they've been trying to do for the last 8 to 10 years around here.
And for you guys, on your show, I if you don't do it already, I am begging you to set up when you do your broadcast, the other broadcast, wherever it goes, you may go here, then Facebook, then YouTube, right? And if you have a third one, make that third one Rumble.
Oh, we're live right now on Rumble.
Okay, so you're already into
Yep.
Unfortunately, if this gets shut down, it continues, at Rumble.
Yeah. Speaking of which, somebody from Rumble just posted, watching in Texas. Hello, Bigfoot believers.
Yes. Bigfoot believers are great.
Yeah. We just recently started streaming over there. We don't have very many followers or anything, but they're a little interesting.
Same name under the same name.
Mm-hmm,
okay, I'll go look for it. I'm on Rumble. I think I'm Bryan Bowden or
it's Bryan all one word. Michigan UFO Sightings Podcast is all it says.
Yeah, I'll just go look it up and I'll find you guys and add you, and then I'll put you into friends of the show, and
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put it on there. Because this is how
By
I
the way-
like to do that.
Yeah. All right. I'll send you the link and stuff for all that,
Sure,
so you don't
that'd
have
be
to
great.
worry about it. Before we jump off this whole terrorism, domestic terrorism thing, and
Sure.
we close this out, I'm interested in your thoughts about the New Orleans situation. What your thoughts, and if you had any insight into that, plus any sleeper cells, future terrorism. I mean, you kind of hinted at it at your prediction video that we played for everybody a couple weeks ago, but with the current events that's just recently happened, I mean, do you want to drill down a little bit into those
I want to be very careful, because I don't want you to get tagged on something stupid.
Yeah.
That someone was discussing, someone took the FOG in Florida under a microscope and saw that there were something that rhymes with para and a site, and they got booted off of their Patreon or whatever, because they said they were dispensing medical advice. So you got to be careful. I thoroughly believe we have sleeper cells in the country, big time. Iran recently announced, talk about being stupid.
Yeah, you gotta be careful out there.
Yeah, they announced there's a big event's coming, and and there's talk about certain pads being already full pads, missile pads being in the country, and let's just say events like what took place in New Orleans and in Germany and elsewhere around the world by a specific group of individuals that we'll call fundamentalists, that keep it. It's going to happen more, while that was happening in North Carolina, there was a truck with boom booms in it, and there were several other events taking place. You didn't hear about it, but they were going on. If you're in the right channels, things were flowing. It's going to happen, and it's not going to be your like oh, they just want New York City, they just want the hot spots. No, they want to bring what took place October 7th in the Middle East to this country, because they want to avenge the death of their leader. And there's a woman, I think her name's Sarah Adams. I
Yeah.
think
She was a CIA targeter.
Yeah, analyst and whatever.
Yeah.
She's been screaming about this on the Sean Ryan show for a while. And part of it, you could be part of a psychological operation, but I believe her. I believe I've seen some events. But on the plus side, when you get into certain parts of the country, and you want to bring that kind of event, you're going to be met with a lot of firepower, and it's not going to be from the military or the police.
Right. It's from the Second Amendment.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people in certain parts of the country. They don't even register their cars, if you understand what I'm saying. So, I mean, I think there are going to be events. Just be very, very wary. Stay focused. When you're at a public event, I kid you not, find out where exits are, and don't necessarily normally go to that immediate exit, because if you see people being funneled to an area, that is a tactic that was used. If you looked at the CIA manual, which became the Al Qaeda manual, that way back when, and basically they just took the whole manual and added Allah be praised, blah blah blah, before everything they did. But that's what they would do. They will create an event on the right to get you to go left, but that's where they're funneling you into. If you're in a mall, okay, I'm just going to give you an example. And events like this happen in the mall, and lone gunman type of thing, and stuff happens. If don't run into the mall, run to the back room of the store. There's always an exit that no one uses, and it's not going to be and then you can kind of get down to where you have to go, because you're not going to take the path that most people are going to take.
Yeah.
And I mean, unfortunately I don't remember what grades Michelle you teach, or Wayne, or what you guys do in teaching wise. I literally had to have a conversation with my youngest daughter and said, in the event you do have a school event,
Mm-hmm.
I know you're going to be scared, but you may have to use someone who was passed away in front of you and put them on you, and do not move until you can move. In other words, fake if you can't get out. And my youngest knows exactly what I was talking about. And it was like a moment, like, I'm like, unfortunately, this is what you may have to do. We'll talk about it later, and we can help you with that to protect yourself. There may be times when you have to do things that you normally wouldn't do, and you're in a lot of shock at the moment. They will love shock and awe. But just remember, if you have kids, you want to get home to them. If you have, you have to do things sometimes that you never thought you would be doing. But yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry
Mike
about
says the policies and politics of this is wild. I'm heading out, y'all. Well,
Yeah,
Mike,
sorry.
take care, man.
Yeah, I didn't want to get that.
Things have been wild here in the last couple weeks, and whether there's paranormal or some esoteric ties to some of these things that are happening.
There is. I mean, like,
yeah,
there are a lot of
there are
people
dates and numbers.
Yeah, there are a lot of people trying to bring around. I like to call it the the hand of God.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever their belief system, we have these fires in California.
I mean, it's funny that Mike says something like that about politics and policies of this is wild and stuff. But do you realize that Washington, D.C. is set up on a freaking pentagram?
Yeah, pentagram. It is. And it's based off of the placement of Venus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The District of Columbia. Do you know who the hell Columbia is, bro? Right? Yeah. So why is it called the District of Columbia? It's not Christopher Columbus. He wasn't a woman who was a goddess, dude. So don't tell me that this stuff isn't all related, because it is.
Do you know that the Statue of Liberty looks a hell of a lot like someone who's a light bearer? And it just so happens to be looking over the Big Apple.
And look at Rick Davis right here. He says, my entire life is like paranormal.
Raise your hand, everybody.
Yeah, everybody raise your hand. Everybody raise your hand.
My name's Bryan.
Yeah, this is the new Me Too movement.
You know what? I'm sorry, but I've had people and I've been in a couple of different groups that met publicly before I moved to Florida. So we're not going to bring up politics here. And I said, I beg to differ, because there are individuals making policy based on stuff, and it becomes political. And I don't want to be political. I think this world would be a lot better, I'd be brutally honest, if everybody had some good drinks, good food, maybe some good Chiba that we used to have way back in the day, weed, whatever.
Yeah.
And play video games and music, and just when you're happy and when you're making your life's good and you have extra money in your pocket and you're going on vacation, no one fights with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And now, when you're struggling and you're having a problem because of politics and policies, sorry, Mike, it allows certain esoteric things and evil to keep you shackled and chained, and they don't want you happy.
Dude, Bohemian Grove is real. The Moloch statue there is real.
It's real. Did someone buy it? I know it was for sale, but I don't know if anybody bought it.
I don't know. I like this. Aaron says, finally, people that get it.
Bingo. Yep.
Bingo. Right.
We get it.
I keep a lot of my numerology and stuff I'm studying and learning about this weird stuff in
Yeah.
my head, and I don't bring it out all the time. I do a little bit when I talk about 369 and all that stuff. And if you've studied it and you know what I'm getting at with Tesla numbers at 369.
369 frequencies, 369 sacred geometry. How about all those? I think I played them for you. Binaural beats, certain frequencies. One of my friends, they thought he had a problem with his aorta. His name is Contrera, and he became a priest, but he does this whole presentation on frequency and vibration. And I can get him on your show. I'm going to get him on mine. I know him very well, love him to death. And I was having a problem a bunch of years ago, about 4 years ago. I have eczema and psoriasis. Okay. If you've ever had eczema and psoriasis, you get these scales and whatever. I don't do biologics. I don't want to take any of that crap. I don't, whatever. That's their answer. Everything. Well, let's take a biologic. No, do your job. Find something else.
Better living through pharmacology.
Right. So what they did was they gave this one doctor, which was great because it did help out. I was in that much pain. I waited too long. She gave me a month's worth of prednisone. Okay. So I wasn't feeling well. I felt like I had, I ate something, like I had food poisoning in my stomach, and I just felt like crap. My doctor would not see me. Wouldn't come near me, wouldn't see me. No, go to emergency, which really pissed me off. And he goes, just go. And so I try to get into another. No, they don't want to see me. They want to push you to this urgent care. So I go to the urgent care early in the morning. We drop our kids off at school. I go there and I'm sitting there and I give them, it's in the same place where my doctor is. So I figured I'll go there and then they can give the report. It's easier. So I do the urine sample, which everybody has to do when you go over there. And she comes in, she goes, "Oh, you're diabetic." And I said, "No, I'm not." I said, I normally have a little bit higher sugar levels, but not over the chart. She's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. Let's take some blood. Takes my blood and my blood sugar level. Oh, you're going to love this. 502.
Jesus.
Yes. No, Jesus wasn't involved in this.
Oh.
Jesus was not involved in it whatsoever. And she's like, you're going to the hospital now, and we were going to call an ambulance, but you drove here and you have your, and I said, okay, well, so I went to the hospital where my doctor was affiliated with. I drove there, and I wasn't smoking in my vehicle at that point. Until that point, I'm like, fuck it, I'm smoking in my car now. And I said to him, I'm not diabetic. I don't fit your bell curve. Don't try to put me in your bell curve. My whole line is always a little bit more than that. Okay. That's what doctors try to do. They try to put you in that. Well, you're in this percentile.
Right.
Yeah. My youngest daughter was overweight and big. She, when she was 9 years old, she looked like she was 13. Okay. When she looked like she's 21 years old for a whole bunch of years. That's why I'm losing my hair, and but she isn't, she doesn't have that maturity level or whatever it is. So we don't fit in your curve. But I went to the doctor, had I not, and I got whatever I got done, but there's politics involved in all that stuff. And they didn't believe me. And, I'm not a diabetic. So I said, okay, whatever. The doctor could care like, yes, you're diabetic, blah, blah, blah. He didn't care. I'm trying to get my kids to be doctors because I'm going to need their prescription pad. Get older. Dad needs some Demerol. Yes. It just helped out. But, but I did it anyhow. I started to no sugar, eat right. I mean, trying to find bread that doesn't, that would work for you or something. When you're trying not to eat sugar, oh my God, it's miserable. So if you really want a good diet, do the diabetic diet because that's a true diet. You could actually manage that. So
I do carnivore, so all I eat is meat.
Yeah, that's good too.
Or not fish, chicken.
There's a doctor on TV who's been talking. I forgot his name. He's been talking out, like you said, we can't talk through, stocks being called out or blacklisted. And he's telling you about the use of nicotine and how important it is and how vegetables have it and it helps to fight certain things and some other, and nicotine will help. And then he's talking about salt. And they did a test of like 500,000 people globally. And the ones that, because my doctor said, oh, lay off the salt. Salt's bad for you,
No,
and they turned out, no, it's not. It's actually the ones that had better salt intake had lower blood pressure. I'm not a doctor.
Right.
Go talk to your doctor. But everybody's pre-programmed to do certain things.
Well,
I did not want to take a statin. Okay. If you
do
the research,
some of this crap that they try to give me,
well,
in the drawer.
remember, I had a full-blown widowmaker.
Yeah.
I should be dead. But God has me. God's like, oh, no. We're not done with you, Bryan. I've got a whole bunch of shit fuckery for you to do in the future. So they put you on that. And I don't want to be on it. But the doctor put me on a lower end one. One of the side effects of it, besides aches and pains, memory loss, cognitive functions. So I'm doing my best.
What do you think the majority of your brain is made out of? Cholesterol.
In fact, and before the pharmacy companies got involved, again, Operation Paperclip, Mockingbird, all these things are in play here. It's control.
MK Ultra.
Right. Well, before they got involved in it, did you know that anything under 300 was fine with your cholesterol? Because believe it or not, there's good cholesterol and fat is good and you need fat. And actually, if you have some fat in your diet, the proper fat, you will lose weight. One of my friends did something like the carnivore, and he used to put in his coffee grass-fed butter.
Yes.
Like chunks of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, kind of frown on that personally, but that will help your body again.
Helps your liver
get up or something like that.
Yeah.
But again, when Mike, and I apologize to you, I'm not trying to be political here, but
I think he's long gone. I watched the numbers drop up and down when we hit certain topics, and people are like, "Oh God, here we go again." These are probably some like right wingers or something.
There is a correlation to
Michelle's cracking up.
These crazy here. I'm just gonna present it because I said I would. So I'm gonna share a screen.
Oh yeah,
where is it?
This is good.
I don't know if it's this one. Here you go.
Why don't you go down the rabbit hole?
Well, I didn't do that. I did another one. Here's your correlation. So if Mike, if you check back in, or you're a friend of Mike in there, go take a look at.
Mike's a good guy. He just,
I know, and you know what? When you want to have like. It's like, I don't want a political thing, but
when you find out how much these political people are in esotericism and all of numerology and all this stuff, it starts to make sense.
Right. And there is a reason for it, and it goes into control. Narrative.
I mean,
look at all these projects, look at all these operations. With the drones, Project Bluebeam's right there.
Yeah.
The Gateway Project is awesome. Go look for those tapes on YouTube.
Just real quick, people that are listening in the future on a podcast, we have a slide up here of project/operations that have been run. And this is what Bryan is talking through right now.
Yeah. So there's like the Gateway Project is a project with the CIA at Monroe Institute using hemi-syncing to actually get you to have certain experiences. I use the Gateway tapes. You can find them on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I put the first the first disc on my phone. You sit there and you have to wear headphones because they need it to go in some things in the right ear, others in the left. And you get into this thing called Focus 10. And when I did the fourth exercise, it starts out 45 minutes for like the first 2 or 3. Then it gets to 30 minutes. It's doable. And you sit there and you, first of all, you feel great afterwards. It's like a meditation state, right? And then you start having encounters with beings that are there. You are moving yourself and your vibration into a different frequency. 369 Tesla, right? Okay.
Yep.
And you're able to use it to foresee things too. Remote viewing. Yummy, who does her predictions and whatever else, and she's gonna kill me too, and she's gonna throw the biggest cat on me if I come over. There you go. But I want a Yummy shirt, by the way, when they come out. So this is what the Gateway Tapes project is. Gateway Project. Now, I didn't think people would really buy the Project Bluebeam, which is a fake alien invasion where the powers that be, New World Order, whatever it is, they replicate, we're being attacked. So we come together like Independence Day. And then they put like a Messiah-esque character to come down. And now we're all one religion and one world. And we're wearing, tunics, and like a cult, we're selling flowers at the airport. Project Pegasus.
We're living in a commune,
Yes.
know.
We're the band down by the river.
Yeah, that'll never happen. Have you met the humans on this planet?
No, I don't know. I forgot which one it was. It's Acorn or Pegasus, and I think it's Pegasus. One of them is about missing kids, missing children.
Yeah.
They weren't missing, they were abducted, and they were using them to test portals into other worlds and other planets. They call them jump sites, stargates into Mars to see how it affects. That's what one of them is. I mean, there is an Operation Stargate which deals with stargates, like just like the movie.
I want to interrupt you here for a minute. A good friend of the show, Guy, he's been on here a couple times. He says he was switched off. Let me pop this up here. Right there we go. He says, I was switched off in a beam of blue light. Ex-wife saw it. I don't know about this Project Blue Beam stuff being government. Now, that being said, doesn't mean it was the government.
No.
But could the government have figured some of this stuff out by observing these craft doing this, or in contact with them, or something along those lines? That's where the waters get muddied between it's our stuff and it's them.
Right.
I think,
depends on the organization too. So a lot of the fun technology we love and we take for, we use like USB-C, USB, Velcro. A whole bunch of things come 5G. From the space programs. And the space program, why it was so successful was because of Operation Paperclip, when we took Nazi people into this country, and the gentleman running the Nazi missile and bomb and air program became our head of basically NASA.
Yeah. Was it
Robert Von
Vonnegut or something like that?
No. I can't believe I can't remember.
I can never remember his name either.
Yeah. So it's going to come to me. And he's a Nazi. And there was one point he was at NASA and someone came in to go.
Von Braun.
Von Braun. Von Braun. So he's the reason why we have the rockets, and we use these rockets. We basically use missiles to shoot into space. And there was a reporter that wanted to talk to him, because when I tell you the Nazis, again, politics, we're talking politics, were so close you couldn't even use a lubricant to winning World War II. They had they were just having nuclear power. Okay. And rockets that can go into country.
Right.
We never had that. And I kid you, under 24 hours, we would all have these really small mustaches and be waving like this to people. Okay. So Von Braun comes in, and this reporter is interviewing people for whatever I forgot the reporter's name, and says, he comes up and he comes in the place, and he goes, Mr. Von Braun, I've always wanted to interview you. You have a few minutes. He goes, I'm having lunch. Why don't you join me? So they go to the NASA area, commissary, whatever it is. And the reporter said, during the war, you were so close with all this technology. I mean, like, you were really close. And he said, yes, we were. He said, I mean, to like, everything changing. He goes, yep. And the reporter said, where did you get this technology from? How did you come up with it? And without missing a beat, Von Braun goes, we had help from them.
Downloads.
Them.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about gods or God or angels. We're talking about UFOs, extraterrestrials. Okay. That's what he told you. So again, politics plays a big role here. And yes, I saw a guy put up TR3Bs. All this technology, and we've seen TR3Bs very recently during the Iranians sending missiles into Israel. There was a TR3B there shooting them down. It's live on TV. You can go look it up on the internet. And people, I'm sitting there going like, holy crap, that's a TR3B. And one of my buddies, Dave Scott, I mentioned to him before, and he goes, yeah, I got a call from someone that he knows. He goes, your proof is coming up. You're going to see it very soon. Watch, and it was the same event. And we both, like, I knew what it was. TR3B is a reverse engineered craft that the United States government's had for decades. And it is badass. It can travel outside the earth. It's a UFO. And we have stuff that makes that look like a Pinto, from the 70s. I mean, this is like, we have some really cool stuff. Lockheed Martin and a couple of the other the military manufacturers. Again, politics. Sorry, I'm going to keep bringing that back up, circle back. They have a self-autonomous plane that looks like the Aurora, which is like a delta shape, that will change its shape at will. It's self-autonomous. It flies by itself. It doesn't need any humans whatsoever. You say, go patrol X, Y, and Z, it goes. And it will change its configuration to look like a delta or a UFO, a circle, or something oblong, like an egg. Incredible. This is all reverse engineered stuff. This is what we all pay for. We've been paying our taxes. That $2,000 hammer and the $7,500 toilet seat for the military? No, it's going to, it was Area 51. It's now a couple other different places, and I found out later on in life that my mother's cousin, which I never met, they helped build and design the stealth fighter and bomber. I'm listening to her, oh my God, and he said, my cousin just, they helped to design and build it.
Yeah, and that was in the 70s when they were working on that.
Oh yeah. And I said, I knew, my mother didn't watch any of this. She was into some movies and stuff and didn't really watch it. I said, oh, well, where'd they do it? And she said, well, where were you doing it? She goes, oh, we would leave California on a plane and we land someplace and then they would take us. They were going to Area 51.
See, and I see in chat guy getting upset about it being ours, and I'm saying it's both, man. I'm saying that it's what you had an experience was not the same thing with me. I don't believe it was a TR3B.
Yes, guy, I've actually had a gigantic. It wasn't triangular. It was more of a delta shape, a little more winged. The triangle shape craft that you see whenever you capture it on audio, video, or pictures, and you get a really well defined craft. 9 out of 10 times, from my experience, you're getting something reverse engineered. You may have
Yeah.
had an experience with something and you may have looked like a triangle. I wasn't there, so I'm tending to believe that you had your experience, but I'm telling you the TR3B is ours. Matter of fact, you can look up the blueprints at the Copyright Office and the Patent Office, and they will tell you DARPA and Department of the Navy. Okay? And that was decades ago. Everything's changed. The crafts now are just, you wouldn't believe what you wouldn't believe.
See, and then Linda says this, and I agree with Linda on this. They've been talking about seeing craft since the 1800s. Linda, they've been talking about this way before that too.
Yeah.
I mean, Ezekiel's wheel and all of these things that have been mentioned in ancient. I mean, there is what do they call them? The petroglyphs, right? Out west of the like Navajo tribes and stuff that are pictures of dudes with helmet. I mean, like big head gray aliens.
And you have a couple of different things taking place here. First of all,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to Guy.
Right.
Don't get so upset and don't throw all your eggs into a TR3B and throw it all into aliens.
I believe you got abducted, Guy. I'm not questioning what happened to you. I'm just telling you from different perspective. You know, we think, a billion years ago was far, and it is for us. It is a speck on the butt of this planet, because the length of the life on this planet is a lot bigger and longer than it is. When you look at core samples and whatever, 100 million years, every big dip is almost instantaneous, but it's instantaneous for them is 27,000 years. You understand? So you may have had a craft that was triangular. I don't know. It was not there. And we don't know what it is. It could be certain beings working within our black budget project and government, just like Eisenhower made a deal. Yeah, you can abduct some people, but you're going to give us some tech. And they've done that. And we reverse engineered it. We have craft. We have landed craft. We have extraterrestrials. We have the small grays. We have interactions with tall grays, totally different extraterrestrials. Those are the ambassadors, the tall grays. And anytime you do have a UFO experience, you may be getting abducted and you don't know who it is. The government does it too. So you, like Wayne said, you can't put all your eggs in that one basket, because you think it's this, but I know from 45 plus years of doing this and researching it, and at a time when you actually had to go and talk to people and it wasn't so easy, and a time when the internet first started and it was very easy because you just started throwing things up there, not realizing what you can get with, remember the blue boards and the black boards and all this other stuff, and having people, really, really good friends that were really, really good at hacking crap, and they're coming up and sending you stuff. So there's a multitude of different type of craft. I mean, there's holographic crafts. There's light craft. There's light beings. Yeah, I did I like to call it an active intelligent encounter up in Pine Bush, New York in 2018 or 19. I had 140 people there, including the chief of police. It was 10 something at night. And I pulled in a craft that was, I kid you not, probably 5 acres by 5 acres, and looked long triangular. What is isosceles? What's the longer triangles or whatever it is? And it looks like a triangle, but it wasn't anything like that. Gunmetal black underneath, centerpiece, like a dome, where you can see the hexagonal pattern that's holding it in. And it was a whiter than white. So it's an LED white. I have an LED light right here. And it's so bright, but I could still stare into it. And everybody there saw it. We asked it to, can you go out and do some maneuvers? It went out and did maneuvers. There you go. That's, I've posted stuff like that too. Okay.
Yeah, this is the patent right from the patent office.
Yep. So I understand that you've had an abduction. Okay. And the
But not just him, his coworkers as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
It's pretty interesting. And I'm surprised that, I guess not thinking that people would eventually be searching for it or to be so old it doesn't matter. This was a concept but the TR3B is ours. And have they refined it? Yes. And I don't even know if he's still around, but one of my friends, he's out in, I believe, Washington State. He's been abducted numerous times his entire life by a variety of extraterrestrials and government people. He's had a colonel go through his wall when he tried to lock him out. Walked through his wall, concrete and steel door. Okay? They are doing exactly what the extraterrestrials are doing. And why? Because you want to get into it, they can probably clone you. I know they can. They can clone you. They can manipulate you. It's kind of like in the movie Back to the Future when they put the Walkman on what's his name? George McFly. And you're gonna go ask so and so to the dance, scared the crap out of them and get them to do things. Or you've been abducted because you are a certain blood type and they know through line after line after line after line, you're a certain line of something, and they know you're important, and they want to grab your blood and see why you're so important. And they know how they work, and they download you.
Right.
And yeah.
I was just going to say, Diane Boss, this is exactly what I think we're both saying the same kind of thing, is that, Diane says they may not be all the government. Of course they're not. It's just like the drone situation, right? There's drones and you can identify a drone, you can hear it, but then you've got orbs flying around too that are making no sound, zipping around, doing things that drones can't do, and then taking drones out of the sky.
So,
right? So
recently the LA fire, I saw a video, and you have these light beings. It looks like light, and there's a fire over in the hill. This was filmed from someone's apartment building, and these two objects, light orbs, whatever, come in, and they do this quick turn, like almost like refueling from the energy, and then they go back out, almost like sent out the scout. It is the coolest little video ever. And people say, oh, that's I work in lighting, and that's a lighting, we use drones for that, and we know how to manipulate. It's up high and they're shooting down. I'm like, this was not a light, and it's nothing like you've ever seen.
Well, since you brought that up, let's go ahead and let's close out the show with Michelle's here. Her camera starts glitching and her new computer's on the way, so hopefully she'll have it set up and stuff here. I've got a new one coming too. These things are we
getting to the Yummy Cam?
Yeah, Yummy Cam.
Yeah, I will have a new Yummy Cam that actually does not freeze up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
it's so funny.
Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounter podcast. It's yummy. There's your shirt right there.
There you go. And if they pay extra, they get the Yummy Cam off to the side where it's just all Michelle.
Oh my god!
No guest or nothing. It's just Michelle, and she can just sit there and blink her eyes, and
this helps you buy the house quicker. I'm just gonna
lick her lips, and and
money coming in.
I take pictures of her feet. Hey, we'll put the Yummy Cam on your feet. You always get your toes done real nice, so,
Oh my god!
All right, wildfires in California. Is this the beginning of the Great Reset, dude?
No, this is an idiot. Look, I'm all for helping the planet out. Okay. I want my kids to have a planet, whatever.
Who isn't?
But during the sea event and when everything
Oh,
shut down, within months, like under 6 months, planet came back. It was beautiful. The sky was blue. It was really blue, and things in the grass, and you can breathe better and whatever. Okay. This event was, I think it was a land grab. I'm not going to go crazy with it. And I used to ask the question, do you think there was something more to that? And when I spell do, I spell it DEW.
Aha.
Okay. And I think it was a combination of people out in that area trying to get rid of evidence on certain things.
Yeah.
And and just to control the narrative, you call 15-minute cities. But the fact of the matter is they cut the water off because they're trying to save some kind of mouse and smelt.
Yeah.
And there should never be a wildfire in there that lasts and gets to this big. And this is all because of environmentalists.
Bryan, what are your thoughts about the satellite images that have been posted in video of all 3 fires in LA starting at the same time?
Yeah, so this is what Michelle's
talking
about.
DEW means?
Right there. Yeah, directed energy weapon. Check this out.
Bingo. Wayne, you move on to the next round. That's how it worked. And it did, and the same thing happened in
that. Those are
Canada,
satellite. Those are
and
satellite
the same
images.
things. Let me tell you something. This video, people, I gotta love game cams because people have put up game cameras and they're using the new ones that use cellular, so they get the images. And before this stuff happened, there's a big bright white flash, and the next thing you know, and it's not lightning.
Right.
It's kind of like right angles, right? They say there's no right angles in the world. Okay. Lightning doesn't work like that.
So,
that and there were no storms in the area.
Yep.
They ruled out lightning.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's the really effed up part about this whole thing. We have something called Thor hammer and harp. Okay. They've already admitted they manipulated the weather in North Carolina and Tennessee. Okay. That's a land grab too. And they have the ability to make it rain right now on the West Coast. I mean, like rain. And they're not doing it. And you got to ask yourself why they don't want you to do it. Why are they not doing it? Why? So people can get rid of evidence, so people can, hide things, so things disappear in a fire. Somebody wants to make more money. It just so happens that there's a company named BlackRock that has been meeting with the governor today. I know you don't want to talk about politics and whatever, but this is all part of it.
The cancellation of all of those insurance policies.
Yeah.
Because the company, there's no way that the insurance company could cover that. We'll all be paying for it. That's why I was like, is this what they're talking about with the Great Reset? They're going to have to rebuild everything, which they have a project for that, by the way, which is creepy as hell. If nobody has seen this, this has New World Order kind of crazy crap written all over it. Let me grab it real quick.
Yeah, you know what the problem in this world is?
People.
Well, besides, people.
This right here, Smart LA 2028.
Yeah,
this is nuts. They had to have a bunch of stuff rebuilt and done and destroyed to basically start this going.
You know the shadow of Ezra Cohen worked in the government. So there's a Twitter account called Shadow of Ezra. I'll send you a link to it.
All right.
This guy, 2012 or something like that, he lists 14 cities. Boom, 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 boom. These are the cities that are burning right now and have these crazy fires and all these issues. They're all on it.
Yeah.
Be careful. It's, you know, it's one of the reasons why, like, they wanted you standing 6 feet apart, not for your health and well-being, so they can discern that Wayne is Wayne and Brian is Brian and Yummy is, and Michelle is Michelle. When we're standing together, because like I've said before, we are an electronic system. We have our own unique identifying numbers, just like your cell phone. Okay. And if you're too close, they don't know who's who. That's why it's 6 feet apart. Then they can discern it.
Now check this out. I believe this was before the fires happened.
Oh, I remember this. Okay.
Yeah. What in the God's green earth is that? Now the guy's swearing, you know, people are swearing in the background. I got it turned down, but look at this. Now I've heard some people say that's Willie P or what we called it. Yeah. In the military, we called it white phosphorus. And what you generally do, you got white phosphorus grenades. And the idea is that you can get to the back of an engine compartment on an enemy tank, and you can take one of these Willie P grenades and you throw it on the engine compartment, and it gets so hot that it'll burn through and destroy the engine. They leave the crap behind, and then you steal it. Right? That's how you can get gear of the enemy. But this is in the air. Willie P goes down into the ground. It's like a gel. And I've never seen a cloud like this go. And I've tried to debunk this as to what the hell this is. Right. See, if that was Willie P, you would see streams heading toward the ground of like falling giant ash, like blobs.
Yeah. If you want to see what it looks like, look at some of the videos of big booms in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Because there's one country that's not supposed to use it, but they're using it.
Yeah.
But again, all's fair in love and war, right? So what a great way to spread something flammable.
Yep.
Very quickly. Now this one,
this is crazy,
dude. I think it's 100% legit. Because the bottom camera maps up with the top, but again, it's too tight a frame.
Yeah,
so
and the resolution is so bad.
Yeah,
the resolution on this is bad. And here's the thing that bothers me with this is that what you're about. I think if it's CGI, it's some of the best damn CGI I've seen ever in a staged video like this. But what sets me off immediately is the sound. Like this is a helicopter, and a helicopter from the inside, if you're using your phone to record something, would not sound like this.
Right.
So that it sounds like the audio track is overdubbed.
You're picking up things that I did not like about it.
Dude, that is okay. If that is CGI, again, I couldn't find anything to debunk this. So people listening, there's a rain cloud, okay, and there's a heavy downpour happening in the distance as this aircraft. It could be a twin engine plane. It's not a single engine plane with the engine on the nose. It could be a helicopter. But coming down from the cloud are like 3 or 4 of these energy bursts hitting the ground. And it looks like
I wish,
dude,
I wish they pulled
that's
the back on the video so I can see the bottom video.
Yes.
The bottom and the top where then I would be like, okay, whatever. But this is insanity. And I've seen some strange stuff. There's people. I was there was someone recently I contacted. They were asking about this. I've been hearing a lot of booms lately, big booms, weird booms. I don't know if you've had it up in the Michigan area or anybody else in
We've
chat.
had snow thunder recently, which was
Well, is it
interesting.
snow thunder or did you and also it's not only like a boom, but it also sounds like a train in the distance. It's a weird thing. So I remember way back when they have this stuff called Gabriel's horn, right? Sky trumpets.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
hear
yeah.
all these sounds that going, and the reason why they call it Gabriel's horn is when God's going to conduct a war or an operation, Gabriel blows his horn. That's his job. He's the war. I'm warning you, we're coming. I've heard Gabriel's horn firsthand. Waiting to get into a 1:00 in the afternoon parent teacher conference with my daughter's preschool teacher, and it sounded like the creature from Lost, metallic, like something was being constructed and moved, and it was everywhere. And this was in New York City, one of the boroughs. So I mean, I mentioned this to the person. I forgot his name. If you have any reports, can you please, tell, he went to social media to discuss it, and I added the comment what he should be looking at. This kind of reminds me of that, but with like an after effect. I mean, there is ball lightning. There are some strange anomalies out there where you could have a plasma.
Oh yeah.
Create.
I've had a guy on this show, Dr. Greg Little, who is a retired police forensics officer who wrote the book, The Origin of the Gods.
Right.
And he makes the case for basically when these plasma balls happen, they get inhabited by a dimensional intelligence with the way that they operate, and they will take form. They will have conversations with you, dude. It's crazy. Like,
because this again, everything takes energy. Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you go ghost hunting, right? Turn the flashlight on and move the door. That takes energy. I mean, I've done tons. That was my, I did a lot more than just ghost hunting, but my battery just drained. I just put a new battery in it, and now we're having a Bigfoot, and we're now have all this. They need that energy now. That, like Tesla tells you, you can get energy from the earth, but I'll tell you, this thing right here, so easy. It's like, so easy. I mean, it's easier to use this and drain this first, or a battery and a nickel battery or whatever quickly. And then these beings will use the energy to converse with each other. They will take different forms in it. It's really Santa Ana winds. Yeah, the winds can be
they're vicious.
Yeah.
They can be
everything's
rough.
energy.
Yeah.
And sound frequency vibration, which is also part of the energy scale. So I mean, and
I got to go with Patrick here, dude. In my 54 years of living,
yeah,
and being in an airplane and flying my whole life from the age of 2 on, in every kind of airplane imaginable, the only thing I've ever seen is the rain clouds like that, or the rain wall, the walls of rain, right? The rain walls like that.
We see that all the time in Florida.
Yeah. Right. Just torrential downpours in one area, like a wall, because you have a weather front, running into another weather front. It causes condensation and heavy rains. But and I'm looking at this and I'm trying real hard to debunk it. I'm like, wait a minute. Is this on the ground? What is this on the ground? And does it look like it's reaching up toward the sky? So for a minute, I thought it was, until once you get to right about here, you're like, oh, you can see. Now this has got to be real, because there is some kind of a cloud event that's on the ground already.
Yeah.
You can see it right there. So it's not an artifact of CGI or anything like that. This is something that might already be burning, might be smoldering, something that's going on there. And then this plasma, whatever this is, comes down. And look, now it illuminates the whole feature that's on the ground already.
Yeah. You know, I've seen low ceilings like this, really, really bad storms.
Oh
That
yeah.
have potential for a tornadic activity. I've seen them. And I've seen some lightning that it's not just electricity, but you get plasma. It's really, really cool lightning. Some of you people may see it in some of the storm chasers where you get this bolt and then there's like this purple or bluish. That's a bit like this is way bizarre. This is like now.
It's yeah.
This was very, very bizarre.
Yeah.
You know.
And this is the last thing I wanted to show you.
Sure.
Speaking of drones and UFOs and multiple things happening at the same time, TR3B, alien triangles, UFOs, all this stuff. This is Mark Redfern. I'm turning off the volume because he swears a lot and we swore a lot in this episode, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But
hold on,
this is about the best I can do with the Zoom, guys.
I do have a censor button, by the way.
There it is. But watch this. He's watching this on the news, and you see he points out he's sitting there saying, "What the F? I think that's a effing UFO. I think they called it effing UFO." Now you can't see it. All right, so he's gonna go back.
This is a great video.
Yeah, and dude, still kind of hard to see. And I'm sorry, guys, on that are listening or trying to watch this on YouTube and squinting. Go full screen on this. This to me, again, I can't discount this. The only thing I could possibly say is that there are aircraft operating close to each other and one is going the opposite, but I don't think so.
So I would suggest on your
right here
on your Facebook page, just post a video on your Facebook page. That is your classic atypical UFO.
There it is.
And my personal opinion is anytime there is a natural disaster or an event like this,
volcanoes,
they always come out because and they get a lot more deeper into it. They know past, present, and future. Time is an earth construct. So they know certain things are going to happen. That's why, like when some of the volcanoes were going to blow up, a certain waves or whatever, you'll see what I like to call the constellation UFOs, and those are the ones that are little white dots. They always show up before a major event. And again, let's talk about energy. These craft need certain types of energy. And a lot of it has to do with heat. That's why we see on the satellite SOHO of the sun, we see craft going into the sun and then coming back out. They're refueling. It's no different than going to Sunoco for them. So a storm like this with energy potential in there, that's like, dude, go in there. Let's see if we can pull some energy out of it because we have to be here for a while,
Yeah. And unfortunately, I'm watching this through Facebook off of Nick Redfern's page. So I can't back it up and be nitpicky with it. I guess I could look.
Yeah,
but there it is. I mean,
well, if I find the video, because I think I marked it in before whatever.
Bro,
I saw the video, the news actually video before he started chiming in on it. If I find it, I'll if I think I'm in your group, I could probably post it up there, and then you can download it.
This is good.
Yeah,
they're watching these fires.
Yeah, they want to know what the heck's going on because I think they realize this shouldn't be happening. Do you understand why? Shouldn't be happening? Politics, new person coming in, threatening all the other person. I mean,
yeah, these fires should not have been happening, and
Right.
and I'm just gonna say that if you want to say it's biblical, I don't care. Whatever, whatever floats your boat, spiritually, oral, ethically, morally, whatever.
Right.
Okay. Here's the deal. Taking a deep breath. We are supposed to be stewards of this planet. We are tied to this planet. The energies of this planet, the ancient people knew this. That's why they built these pyramids. All of this stuff. We're all freaking connected. Period. Okay. That means that if you have dead trees in your forest, you should have people working to clear that deadfall so this kind of crap doesn't happen. This is ridiculous. And as an earth and space science teacher, and I've dedicated a lot of my life to understanding how the earth works. I mean, it's one of the hardest sciences to get into and do because you have to know everything about it. This should not be happening.
Nope.
These forests should be taken care of. They should be cleared when they need to be cleared. And this is ridiculous. And this is, oh my God. I'm going to play. Go ahead.
Well, here, just so you don't. So
I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
I've got to start another channel now. You know, son of a bitch. He did it again. So we're all. I think we're all pretty good about being, environmentalists for the most part. We want to help out. We want to go to the beach. We don't want to, crap going up. When environmentalism and environmental disasters, this is one of the worst disasters to the environment.
Yep.
Because there are certain creatures they want to save. And unfortunately, in this world, and we may be one of those creatures that go from it, Mother Nature will always find a way to come back. We've seen firsthand when we were all in a lockdown position.
Well, look at Mount St. Helens in the 80s when it blew.
Yeah.
It devastated miles. Now it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, but this is what happened. I don't want to sing the Circle of Life for you guys. The Circle of Life. I don't want a Disney movie here.
Kumbaya.
If they allowed the water from the snow-capped mountains the way God intended it, or whoever your creator, to filter down into California and the basins and all, you wouldn't have this problem. And they did it to save some of the
I think, dude, honestly, I know what you're saying. Smelt and mice, and the smelt needs to live in a briny type of situation, so they let the runoff go and go out, out to the Pacific Ocean and create the brine. Right? You got the fresh water mixing with the salt water, and it creates a brine. And some fish like it, like smelt, little smelt. Okay.
It.
All right. So fine. All right, but that does not mean that you have LA, the Palisades, and that whole area at risk of killing 100,000 people. How many thousands of structures are destroyed now because of that? I'm sorry, no. And they wouldn't go extinct because they're in other areas. It's not like if they don't do that, they would go extinct. That's not true.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest predators for those things would be like mountain lions or snakes, specifically rattlesnakes in that area. And so now you're gonna have a plethora of rattlesnakes overrunning everybody. There's a certain circle and rhythm to life. And have we interfered with it? Yes. But to be brutally honest, if you're going to try to make a better world and ecologically, we have to save this planet. They want zero emissions. Okay, zero carbon emissions. Just so you,
as long as you pay.
No. Just so you people, the people that need carbon the most are all of us. And when you have zero emissions, you die. Carbon, those carbon emissions go into the atmosphere, into trees, and into water, and get converted into something called oxygen. You
Yeah.
need it.
It's
Yeah.
not just water and nutrients from soil that feeds plants. They take in the carbon dioxide. So the more trees and stuff and the more algae and things that you kill off, the less carbon dioxide you take out of the atmosphere.
So
So I
that
mean,
makes
this
you
planet has been a snowball before because the carbon dioxide was basically zero and it was called snowball Earth, right? And then it, for
well,
whatever reason, thawed out.
yeah, and it's but these are the peaks and valleys, like we always go
Yeah.
the driest and all this stuff. I personally believe that this planet Earth has had billions of years of different races that get to a certain point, do something stupid or get corrupted in their own way, get killed off, you get a mud flood, it gets buried, and then it starts new. And then,
Yep.
God comes over and says, "Hey, I'm going to put two people on it." And you get to a certain point, this is, this is how it goes, ebb and flow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's just
Well,
sad that
it,
people get
it,
their education in the wrong spot.
well, we don't need to make things better. We just need to keep things going, right? You just need to take care of stuff, stop,
Yeah.
The human mindset of we're superior to nature and we can control this stuff. No, you can't. You are an insignificant little grain of sand on a planet. And just because you can talk to somebody in China and share your TikTok dance with them, all right, in a split second, doesn't mean this planet is small. This
Right.
planet is freaking huge.
Yeah.
But
Not
go ahead.
as huge as the arrogance of human beings.
Correct. And I think a lot of this stuff, the talk of the smelt and all this stuff, I think that's going to be peddled out as a cover for why this actually happened. I don't think
Yeah.
that's really why they don't have the water. I think there's other things at work here, but again, that's crazy conspiracy theories. So,
Totally different show, but
yeah, totally different show. All right, this is the last thing I want to play. This was Joe Rogan, and I'm sure probably everybody's seen this by now, but what the hell?
Joe who?
July 19th. Yeah, Joe who? July 19th of 2024 said this.
I talked to a fireman once. He goes, dude, one day, he goes, it's just going to be the right wind and fire's going to start in the right place and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean. And there's not a thing we can do about it. I go, really? He goes, yeah, we just get lucky. He goes, we get lucky with the wind. He goes, but if the wind hits the wrong way, it's just going to burn straight through LA and there's not going to be a thing we can do about it. Because these fires are so big, dude. When they're talking about like thousands of acres that are burning simultaneously with like 40-mile-an-hour winds. And the wind's just blowing embers through the air, and those embers are landing on roofs, and those houses are going up, and they're landing on bushes, and those bushes are going up, and everything's dry. And once it happens in a way where it's so spread out that there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do.
You just have to evacuate, right?
Nothing they can do. They just got to get out of there.
Yeah, and good luck with that. We saw how that happened. And one thing I'm going to add to what Joe didn't put in there, when you have a large fire like that and you've got strong winds already happening, that fire causes the winds to increase. Why? Well, because hot air rises. If you've ever been in a hot air balloon, you've ever seen anything like that, you go upstairs in the summertime and you have your air conditioning on and you have a second floor house. It's hot up there, but it'll be cool downstairs, right? Because warm air is less dense. It likes to rise, right? So when air rises, nature doesn't like a vacuum. So it fills it in, right? It fills it in. As something rises, the other air is coming in. And if it's already blowing harder or hard, it's just going to blow a lot harder, kind of like my explanation right now.
Yeah. I'm just, you know what? I'm looking at Michelle's picture for when you go off camera. And it looks like something you would see like on an 80s sitcom, like, Family Ties or something like that. It's that perfect
It
80s.
was risky business, wasn't it?
It's my take on risky business, and it's been my work badge. Every single
Great.
year I take a picture with
Yep.
the same sunglasses tilted down like that.
That is awesome. I remember when I worked they gave me a cubicle, a whole area. They never gave me a nameplate. So every day I changed my nameplate. So one day I was Ilian Gonzalez. The next day I was Yasser Arafat. Jimmy Carter. I would just make whoever was in the news. Thank you very much, Aaron. Now I have to like him.
Well, I think because Aaron said that, by the way, people in the future, thanks, Brian. Now I have the Lion King song in my head.
Oh,
LOL.
circle of life.
Yeah.
And luckily Mark loved it so much and he kept his clothes on. So
yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
I used to do
All
something
right.
stupid. Yeah.
Well, Brian,
Thank you
I
very
think
much.
we're gonna close this out. Any last minute comments,
Nope.
thoughts?
I'm doing my show, Third Eye Live. They posted it there. I'm on, just go to YouTube, youtube.com/@ Bryan Bowden, one
I'm gonna
word,
post that in
with a
chat one more
Y,
time.
BRYANBOWDEN. And I don't even know who the guest is this Wednesday just yet. But we're going to be doing a lot of this stuff. And one day you'll see Wayne and Michelle on the broadcast telling you how they got to be where they are today. The celebrities they are.
Yeah, right. Well, we did have Science Bob on the other day, so that was pretty cool. And
Science Bob's good. I know Science Bob, and I just So you'll get some great guests from Dave. Did you get Dave Scott on yet?
We had him on years ago, and then we were just recently on his show last month. So
Dave keeps sending me this weird guy going, "Hello, Brian, every freaking other day," and it's just the funniest thing.
Well, the very first time we were ever on Dave Scott's show, he was just fawning over Michelle. He was like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful. You remind me of your mother, of my mother." It was hilarious, dude. I can't take her out anywhere, bro.
God, you know what?
It's ridiculous.
That's great. So maybe you need to go out with like the heavy metal hair on, put the 80s wigs on, and
I'll give her one of my old King Diamond shirts or something.
It would be great.
I've got metal t-shirts.
Yeah, you do. I know. White Zombie and all that.
Yeah.
White Zombie.
All right, Brian.
Peace.
We're gonna kick off here. So all right, thanks a lot for joining us tonight, and we'll talk to you soon. Give us a date too when you want us to come on.
Yep, I'm gonna give you any Wednesday, and we'll talk afterwards. Bye, everybody. Thank you very much.
All right, have a great night.
Day.
Whew. All right. Well, that was an interesting show.
I'm afraid to put my camera on because it started freezing up really bad.
Your camera's having issues. So,
but no, Diane, I was here the whole time.
Yeah, she was here. She just hanging out.
I chirp and chime in.
So great show. Hey, we were up to like 35, 36 people during the live. I'll take it. That was great. Thanks for the super chats to all the super chatters out there that sent us something. We had Dorothy, and we had
welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show from across the pond, and also the members of our membership, I guess, that signed up again and everything else. So keep those memberships flowing. Diane, you're awesome. 15 months, man. That's like a year and a half. Wait a minute, I'm a science teacher. I can't math. So, all right, Michelle, I think it's that time.
Have a great night, everyone.
Have a great night, everybody. And remember, keep those eyes to that
sky.
Sky? Really? Oh, okay. Sky.